Alright, welcome back to SouFLoTV again, everybody. It is your host with the most. If you've never been here before, just go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Hit the bell next to the subscribe button so you're notified every time a new video goes up on SouFLoTV. This is the second video we're doing on this topic because we went live for 1 hour and had people call in through WhatsApp to our YouTube channel as we covered the shootings that happened recently that included 2 children in a place like Accompong, which is known to be one of, if not the most peaceful place in Jamaica among the Maroons, right? Alright, here's the follow-up now. In that conversation, we talked about somebody want that land, and there are things going on behind the scenes that are not visible to the eyes. So here we go with an update. Cops were in the dark that the Maroon Festival approved. Are they going to chalk this up as miscommunication between law enforcement officials and one section of police didn't know that it was approved, so them might tell Chief Currie that you're not having the event, it's not happening, and Chief Currie is saying yes, it is happening because he already knew that he had his approvals. I could talk about this. This article says that the Jamaica police appears to have been kept in the dark about government approval of the Maroon Peace Treaty anniversary celebration on Thursday and backed off enforcement of coronavirus safety laws after issuing a tense warning that the event was not endorsed by the health ministry. Miscommunication, I think, is more than this. But anyway, shout out to Jamaica Gleaner for this. The fiasco may offer a source of embarrassment for the police force, is what listen to me. It says that the fiasco may offer a source of embarrassment for the police force, whose authority in the sprawling cockpit country land has been questioned by Accompong Chief Richard Currie amid a simmering war of words about Maroon sovereignty in the Western Jamaica enclave. Culture Minister Olivia Grange told the Gleaner that the Accompong celebration had indeed been approved by the Office of Disaster Preparedness and Emergency Management, or ODPEM or ODPEM, contradicting a release that was done by the police on Wednesday that the event would be in breach of the Disaster Risk Management Act, the DRMA, and it should be cancelled. Oh, no. Oh, shite. Oh, shite. Somebody messed up. Somebody messed up real bad. Cause man dead, children shot, all kinds of drama, and they actually had an approval for their event. Now, in a statement issued on Thursday in response to Gleaner queries, Grange disclosed that word of the approval appeared to not have been communicated to the police, who were deployed on the outskirts of the community as patrons flocked the location. Now, hear what? Is it so that this could very well be that they had a complete miscommunication? Do you think, or do you think more is there to this? Also, I want to ask you this. Do you think that this event happening and the things that took place at the event is the police fault or not? I've seen some people saying this is Chief Currie's fault because he should not have kept the event in the first place. But under the laws, you have certain requirements that you must fulfill in order to keep an event. There's nothing under the law that says you can't keep an event completely outright. You have steps. Obviously, they went about those steps and got their proper approvals. The police just never know about it. In a statement issued on Thursday in response to the Gleaner queries, Grange disclosed that the word of approval appeared to not have been communicated to the police. The minister said that she had made intercessions on behalf of the Maroons prior to the festival adding that the annual celebration had cultural significance. As Minister of Culture, I wrote to ODPEM, the approving body, and I received approval for the ceremonial activities. Rotted. This is the Minister of Culture, you know. Today, I was in consultation with the Minister of National Security, the Honorable Dr. Horace Chang, and it would appear that the police were not aware of the approval from the Office of Disaster Preparedness and Emergency Management. Let's not forget, I see Dr. Chang name dropping. Remember, said this is the man who the other day was questioning or saying that he didn't know nothing about them Maroons there and peace treaty for land and all this other kind of stuff. So he's basically let us know publicly that he's unaware of our rich history when it comes to that. In other words, then, me not really care for learn. That not important to me. So a mess up like this on their watch is not seen in my eyes as a mistake. That's just me though. Anyhow, this is an annual ritual which is among the diverse cultural forms of Jamaica, and it is not categorized as an entertainment event, but it is recognized as an annual traditional, religious, and commemorative activity, and a party, and a dance, and a road march, and a carnival. It is a traditional, religious, and commemorative activity. Now, because of that, my ministry has worked with the Maroons over the years to give support, is what Grange's statement read. The statement, however, appears to be out of step with a Cabinet Office directive urging all government ministries, departments, and agencies not to engage with or to fund any listen to this. Not to engage with or not to fund any secessionist Maroons asserting sovereignty from the Jamaican state. Hear this again. The statement, however, appears to be out of step with a Cabinet Office directive urging all government ministries, departments, and agencies not to engage with or fund any secessionist Maroons asserting sovereignty from the Jamaican state. There should be no engagement by government of Jamaica officials or entities with any entity or organization that claims to be a separate government within any part of Jamaica. This is what the cabinet document said. Further queries on the culture minister's apparent departure from the official policy of the Holness administration were not answered up to press time. Meanwhile, senior communication strategist of the Jamaica Constabulary Force, Dennis Brooks, told the Gleaner on Friday that the police did not enforce public gathering restrictions within the boundaries of the community, but noted that vehicular checkpoints were set up along the main road that were leading to the community. I see somebody left a comment and said, I parked my car out a road. I went up there. I had a good time. It was great. And by the time I got back to my car, because I ran out of money to get more money, my car had already been broken into. So I just got in the car and drove away, and I was so mad. Checkpoint was set up. I wonder if they were watching people's cars to make sure they weren't getting broken in and no criminal activities were taking place. Anyhow, that interaction signaled a threat from a warning issued Wednesday by the Police Information Arm, the corporate communication unit, that lawmen would enforce the DRMA, which serves as a de facto legislation governing coronavirus health and safety protocols. Now, if they are to enforce the DRMA, that means that they would have to be locking people up, taking them off the streets, taking them out of the gathering. It's like when you're having an illegal party and the big truck show up and them tell everybody line up and go on up in the back. That's what would have been happening, right? Public gatherings exceeding 10 persons are banned. Breaches of the DRMA could draw a fine of up to $1 million. Gatherings in a place of worship ought not to exceed more than 100. Even if this was, they're saying, a religious event, spiritual event, it was still way within, exceeded the limit of 100 people. So Brooks remained tight-lipped on whether the police were made aware of the approval granted by ODPEM or not. You know, I hate when people in positions of authority can just remain tight-lipped. Like, it's your job to be forthcoming and to be as clear as possible, right? But I guess they have their reasons why they remain tight-lipped. The St. Elizabeth Police were on the periphery of the Accompong community, conducting various operational activities and vehicular checkpoints, etc. And during these activities, persons were made aware of the concerns surrounding large gatherings and the observance of social distancing protocols should they choose to proceed. Some people were saying that's not exactly what they were doing. They were harassing people as they were heading there. Videos circulating on social media since the staging of the event, however, shows large crowds flocking the community with no observance of social distance or mask wearing. So nobody didn't wear no mask, and nobody wasn't staying no 6 feet apart from each other. They were close and they were there enjoying themselves doing their thing, violating these so-called rules of the DRMA then. Wear your mask, social distance, all this other stuff, or withdraw you, go to jail, and fine you. The development comes amid a meteoric rise in the COVID-19 infections in Jamaica, with a record daily count now of 1,269 new cases that were registered on Thursday alone, right? Some people are saying ain't nobody dying from this, and the recent variant of this is the weakest of all variants. You get some sniffle nose and a sneeze and all that. Ain't nobody dying from it. So some people are like, this is all a hoax, and them not in it anyway. Seeing? Others are under the impression that my bush tea and my ancestors are my good. 6 persons, including 2 children, were shot though at this location in an alleged dispute involving an off-duty cop at the back end of the anniversary celebration Thursday night. 1 man died so far. Maroon sovereignty has been a dispute issue for decades, but the separatist rhetoric of Currie, as this is how the Gleaner talks about him, the separatist rhetorics of Currie, who was elected chief of Accompong in February of 2021, has reignited national debate. Constitutional attorneys and member of the Holness cabinet has asserted that Maroon autonomy has no place in Jamaican law. I hope you know I listen. August 2021 standoff between a policeman and Currie, accompanied by loyalists, heightened strife after the Maroons claimed that the police were trespassing on their land. Right here in the Gleaner, it says the Maroons claimed that the police were trespassing on their ganja farm. Responding to the police warning Wednesday that the festival should be cancelled, Currie made a post on his Instagram calling all the Maroons to stand unified and go on with the thing. He likened the event to the annual Muslim pilgrimage to Mecca. This is a religious duty of Maroons to honor our ancestors and to show the way forward for the born and the unborn. This is our way of life, he said. Now, update. We had several protocols in place, says Maroon Chief Currie, following the shootings at the festival. In a release posted on his Instagram page, the Maroon Chief said Maroons were disheartened, shocked, and left with few words to describe the event which took place at our sacred annual event. Giving his own account of the story, he said that the incident happened at about 9 on Thursday evening, shortly after he made the rounds to remind persons who were not from the area to abide by the curfew and the COVID protocols, right? Now, according to Currie, a policeman in plain clothes was involved in an altercation with a member of the community and discharged his weapon. Following the incident, 6 people were injured, one of whom is a Maroon, later died. However, he said details of the incident, which is now being investigated by Indicom, remains unclear. Okay, so if this is what Chief Currie said, then we might have had it wrong, because earlier news said the police officer was also a Maroon, right? But he was denied entry into the event. So now we don't know, we're confused, because at the same news media houses them now that are saying they have no mention of the policeman being a Maroon, and they didn't tell us if he was plain clothes or not. And now they updated us saying that he wasn't in uniform, he was in plain clothes. He's a plain clothes police, and he got into an altercation with a member of the community, a Maroon. He discharged his weapon, shooting 6 people, including 2 children. And the man who died is a Maroon. Clarity. Currie insists that there were several protocols in place, including trained, armed, and unarmed security personnel, in addition to an armored truck for the safekeeping of personal firearms, as persons were prohibited from taking their guns into the event. He said that several attempts were made to get the support of the Jamaica Constabulary Force, and that there was also ongoing dialogue with the Ministry of Culture, Gender, Entertainment and Sports up to the very evening of the 6th of January. We expected to have, and this is Chief Currie, quote unquote, we expected to have alignment on the way forward, he wrote. We had put in place significant amount of protocols to facilitate our ceremony. We were in dialogue with the ministry and was therefore surprised by the pronouncements that were made by the JCF regarding the January 6th celebration. So in other words, what the hell is going on? Like, we got our approval. We're sure we're good to go. We have all our stuff set in place, security measures, and then the JCF makes an announcement that we can't have the ceremony. Something alright. The ceremony is going to go on. The Gleaner reported, right, that the police had issued a warning against staging the event, and it was in breach of the Disaster Risk Management Act. However, Currie went ahead with the festival, arguing that the ceremony allowed the Maroons to continue their spiritual and traditional rituals just like their ancestors did before them. I mean, it is 284 years old. This is a religious duty to the Maroons, he said, right? To honor our ancestors and to show the way forward for born and unborn. This is our way of life. We mentioned that statement before. This time, the Maroons were celebrating 284 years of the signing of the peace treaty with the British. In his post today, Chief Currie described as unfortunate continued media reportage on the incident, given the ingoing investigations, and call for Maroons to bear with the process. Remember on our live, I said, how is Chief Currie going to react to all this? How is he going to fight back, or how is he going to lead forward? Because we don't want to see no all-out war between police and Maroons, and next thing up there is overran by security forces. People are dead or injured. We don't want to see all that, right? All-out bow and arrow war and spear and sword and all that. We don't want to see all that. So how is he going to go forward? Because a member of his community died on his watch, even though he put all the protocols in place and he was abiding by the law, and he did have the okay, the go-ahead to do it. You see, it's good to know, and it's good to take time and follow up these stories, you know, because a lot of us are under the impression, or I've seen comments, which leads me to believe that a lot of people are under the impression that Chief Currie just bucked the system because of how the media is portraying him to be a separatist, a this or that. It seems like they brought him across as he bucked the system. Police said no, because Corona is here, and Chief Currie said, frig that, we'll do it anyway. That's how it came across in the media, whether we like it or not. Only to find out now that this man went about everything legally, got all the right stuff in place, and went about it exactly how he was supposed to go about it, and still we had an outcome like this. He expressed his condolences to the families of the injured and the deceased, and maintained that Accompong Town is a safe and a peaceful community. Me no want to see no more of this up at Accompong Town. Let's close this video like this. I want you to tell me if you think that this was all a setup and now they're trying to cover it up as a miscommunication, or it's just one of those things that went wrong and it's all back to being all good again. Leave your comments in the comment section below. Catch you on the next video. It's SouFLoTV. I'm out. Peace.